everyone, James Lynch here doing a quick reaction video to the news that Justin Gaethje will fight Paddy Pimblett for the UFC interim lightweight title, headlining UFC 324 as part of the Paramount card. And I got a heads up about this fight, so I'm actually recording this long before the announcement was official. Dana White, I knew was going to announce this fight during the Cowboys and Chiefs game tonight for as part of American Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to get ahead of this and get a video out and didn't have to revolve my whole schedule around Dana making the official announcement. So I'm going to talk about this fight and the other fight, big fight that they announced on this card, which was Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. So we'll talk about that in this video too. The Sean O'Malley Song Yadong fight and some of the other fights they announced, I'll have those in separate videos. But yeah, let's focus on Gaethje and Paddy. I talked about it in another video because there was a lot of smoke around this fight even before I got the heads up and it was 100% official. I gave my thoughts there. Listen, I'm like everyone else. I think Arman Tsarukyan should be fighting for the title next. I don't think they need to do an interim title here. Why can't they just make this a regular fight and then figure it out down the line? Because here's the thing with the interim title. A lot of people are like, oh, it's BS that Arman's not fighting next. Well, listen, injuries can happen. Maybe the winner of this fight could have an injury. Maybe when Ilya wants to defend, that's where Arman could maybe get that shot there. So I don't think that means for sure that the winner of this fight is going to be fighting Topuria next. I know it's an interim title, but I could see Arman sneaking in there because timing's everything. Again, I bring up the example a couple years ago where Dustin Poirier got to fight Islam after losing, 2 fights previously to Gaethje. Timing could work out here. We'll see what happens. But as far as the matchup goes, I like I mentioned in the other video, I do like this fight. I think this is good for the simple fact that Justin Gaethje, I think, did the UFC a favor a couple years back, taking that fight against Max Holloway at UFC 300, which he ended up losing. And then for Paddy Pimblett, I think he needs one more win. I don't think you can get a title shot just off beating Michael Chandler. This is that step I think that he needs to show that he is a title challenger here as well. As far as a quick tale of the tape between these two, Gaethje's 37, he's 5'11 with the 70-inch reach. Paddy Pimblett, much younger at 30, so 7 years younger, 5'10 with the 73-inch reach. So height and reach wise, not a huge difference. Paddy's got a 3-inch reach advantage. Justin Gaethje's like a little bit taller, but not by much in this fight. I'll do a full breakdown on this, like a full early look breakdown on this fairly soon now that the fight's official. Again, 5-round fight, you got to figure that favors Gaethje. He's been in 5-round fights before. He's prepped for them. I know Pimblett, I want to say, has had some 5-round fights just outside the UFC as well. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he has had a 5-round fight in the UFC. No, I don't think he has, now that I think about it. Either way, the 5-round experience favors Gaethje, and the overall experience favors Gaethje. You look at who Gaethje's fought, the resume's far better here. Fiziev, Holloway, Poirier, Oliveira, Chandler, and the common opponent there, Habib, Ferguson. I mean, you name it. Gaethje's fought the who's who as far as the UFC roster goes. Paddy hasn't, but the big difference is Paddy hasn't taken as much damage. Paddy's a lot younger here. So the big question is, I think if you're breaking down this fight, is where do you think Gaethje is in his career? Do you see him as someone that is on the decline, that he's not the same fighter he used to be? I was debating with someone in the comments about this. I think the wins over Fiziev are good. I know he's fought him twice, and the second fight especially was short notice, not the same as the first fight, but I think it shows that Gaethje is still a contender in this weight class. Yes, he lost to Holloway, but if you remember in that fight, I believe he got his nose broken fairly early in that one. Still a very good, entertaining fight. I think Gaethje's right there. Now, the big question is Paddy there? It's tough to say, but I will give Paddy his credit. That win over Michael Chandler was outstanding. That was a dominant win, dominant performance. He followed there previously to that. You got a really quick win over Bobby Green, or King Green now as he goes by there as well. Like I said, I'll do a full breakdown on this later, but I'm leaning Gaethje here. I don't think he's done. I don't think his chin's gone. I know Gaethje's been submitted before. Typically, that's how Paddy wins a lot of his fights. He's got 11 wins by submission. But if you look at it there, Gaethje's not a guy, like the last guy to choke him out was Habib, and Habib, in my opinion, is one of the best ever. So I'm not worried about Gaethje's ground game in this fight. Like I said, he's got an iron chin, and Gaethje hits like a truck. And the thing is, unlike Michael Chandler, Gaethje can go toe-to-toe with Paddy and probably have some success as far as the striking goes. So I could see Gaethje either knocking Paddy out or at least winning if he keeps this fight on the feet. But I do like Gaethje in the spot. It's 5 rounds. I think that also favors Gaethje a little bit. I'm not too worried about the age. Like, again, I didn't think he looked like he was on the decline against Fiziev. So at this very moment, I am leaning towards Justin Gaethje in this fight to get it done, whether it's by knockout or maybe a decision in this one. But I am favoring Gaethje here. Again, I will do a full breakdown on this a little bit later. Okay, let's go over to the Nunes and Harrison fight. Very interesting fight. I mean, this fight should feel bigger than it is, but I think just because, again, Nunes has been off for so long, it's kind of lost some luster there a little bit. But yeah, here's one thing I kind of forgot about. So Nunes, she's 37. Kayla Harrison's 35. Like, there's not a huge age gap here. Obviously, there's a gap in terms of the last time Nunes fought. I was actually at her last fight. That was in Vancouver, June of 2023. So the real question is, what's Amanda been up to since she last fought? I'm sure she's training, but it's going to be really interesting here. Now, a couple things about this fight. So one thing I've talked about on my live stream, and I think it's, interesting when you look at Nunes' resume here, a lot of wins by knockout, 13 total. Has Kayla fought someone that's got the power of an Amanda Nunes? That's tough to say. And the other question is Nunes still going to have that same power after being off for 2 years? That's a big question, right? So we got to kind of factor that in here. Kayla looking great in her last fight against Juliana Pena, but let's not forget that Amanda Nunes absolutely dominated Juliana Pena in their rematch. I don't want to call the first win a fluke, but I think if Nunes fought Juliana Pena again, it would be a similar result to this fight where she just completely goes out there and dominates. So, I think this was a one-off, her losing to Pena. Outside that, Nunes has looked pretty dominant. Again, wins over Chris Cyborg, Holly Holm. Like, these are all very good wins that Nunes has had. Kayla, again, she's looked good since she's been back. The Caitlin Vieira fight was a little bit closer than it needed to be. Obviously, a dominant win over Juliana Pena, but I'm actually leaning Nunes in this fight. Again, like, I'm going to expect something similar to what we saw before she left. I don't think there's going to be too much of a difference between that Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. If you look at Nunes here, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Kayla Harrison is also 5'8" with a 66-inch reach. Here's the thing I'm going to boil down to, and this might be a little conspiracy theory. Actually, I won't even say it's conspiracy theory, but you got to imagine this. Nunes and Kayla have trained together before. There's not a whole lot of upside into Nunes coming back and taking this fight. I think she's trained with Kayla and she feels like she can get the best of her. That's why she's coming back, because there's no reason for Nunes to come back. She's done it all. She's won a belt at 45. She's won a belt at 35. Like, she's looked outstanding. Like, there's really not a lot of upside in her coming back and taking this fight, but she is. And that tells me she must feel pretty confident about beating Kayla. And again, huge edge and experience here. And the other thing I'll add, Kayla cuts a lot of weight to 135. We talked about the process of her getting down. If you fight a power puncher like this, is your chin going to be a little bit more compromised cutting that much weight? I think Nunes could take advantage of that. I know Nunes cuts a lot of weight too, but I don't get the sense that, like, she's like chinny or anything like that. And I don't think Kayla's chinny either, but I think that does favor Amanda, where we've seen Amanda safely make the weight a number of times. Kayla's only made 135 on the dot. I think just the one time, right? I think she's 136 the rest of the way. No, she made 135 against Caitlin Vieira. That's true. But I remember it was 135 against... 136 against Caitlin, 136 against Holly. She's only actually made 135 once, and I know it's only 1 pound, but Nunes has got that in spades as far as making the weight and all that. So I'm going Nunes here, and I'll especially like Nunes if you're going to get her at plus money. I think a lot of people are probably picking Kayla here just because she's been more active. She's very strong for the weight class, and I'm not counting Kayla out, but I think if you look at the overall resume, Nunes should win this fight. So we'll see how this one unfolds. Again, another fight I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive on early look. And just so you guys know, and I say this all the time, like, my pick could change here once I dig into the data a little bit more. But right now I am leaning Nunes just because, it's not like she's been off for like a decade. She's been off for 2 years. Doesn't look great, or just over 2 years, I should say. Actually, no, less than 2 years, I should say, because it was June is when she last fought. But I don't know. Like, if Kayla had a big height and reach advantage, or Kayla was like way younger, I might feel a little bit different, but it's a 2-year age gap. And again, the height and reach isn't much of a difference here. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Lioness in this one. So yeah, just so you guys know, my early picks on this one, Gaethje and Nunes to get the win. Look on this channel for a couple other fights I'll break down just individually, but I wanted to combine Gaethje. I wanted to combine the 2 title fights on this card into one video, just make it a little bit easier. So let me know in the comments which way you're leaning on these fights. Were these the fights to make? Let me know what you think about all this. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.